I am the Knight.
I'm your Batman.
Welcome back to Screen Crush. I'm Ryan Airy. Batman has been capturing our hearts and imagination since 1939, and we have seen some huge movie stars play Batman on the big screen.
I've seen you go through similar phases in 2016 and 2012 and 2008 and 2005 and 1997.
I have aged phenomenally.
He really has aged well. When Robert Pattinson's The Batman came out, the age-old internet GIF question started popping up to reshare on social media. Who's your favorite Batman? Well, wait, why isn't Kevin Conroy on this? He's clearly the winner. These are all movie Batman. Yeah, nice try, but Mask of the Phantasm was in theaters. Or maybe they only want you to rank live-action Batman. Kevin Conroy has played Batman live-action recently, as well as on the CW Crisis series. Really? Really. In a tally of performances that include every episode, movie, and guest appearance made as Batman, Kevin Conroy has portrayed the character for more than 30 years. That's longer than any other actor in either live-action or animation. Wow. Yes, wow. But Kevin doesn't just get the title Best Batman because he's done it the longest, although that helps. Let's dive in and take a look at the iconic man behind the mask to see why he is the best. Every epic hero has a complicated origin story, and Kevin's recently came to life in DC Pride's 2022 personal story penned by Conroy himself, Finding Batman. This comic perfectly lays out why Kevin registers Bruce Wayne's anguish and torment better than any other Batman ever has, but more on that later. The man has led a really interesting life. Kevin was born Irish and Catholic and spent most of his adolescent years in Connecticut. At age 17, he moved to New York City. Now, because his family was dealing with a divorce, a suicidal father, and a schizophrenic brother, he was out on his own to figure out how to attend school. Luckily, he got a scholarship to Juilliard, where he was roommates with Robin Williams and in the same group with Kelsey Grammar.
The thing about Robin that was a little difficult to live with is it never turned off.
Never.
You'd wake up and you'd hear voices coming from his bedroom, and there'd be different characters in there, but it was just Robin.
After college, he moved to California to try his luck in TV. Now, he went back and forth from California to New York to do off-Broadway and Broadway. He played Hamlet twice. Now, during this entire time, he stayed in the closet because he was afraid of discrimination. Back in the 80s, coming out as a gay man could literally end your career. In his heartbreaking autobiographical comic, he talks about the movie deal that he lost because the producer heard that he was gay. Guys, it seriously is a great read, and it really sheds light on what he brings to the Batman character. There's one part where he aligns with what's happened to Batman with like some tragedies in his real life. It is so good, but you have to read it. I digress. So Batman was his first time auditioning for an animated role, and he actually knew very little about the character.
The director described it as this very dark, noir character, and I went to exactly what I know, which is the theater. And so I used my imagination to fill that out.
That's pretty impressive. After being cast, Kevin goes on to play Batman in the epically perfect show Batman the Animated Series, the spin-off Batman Beyond, the best version of the Justice League. He cameoed in other popular shows like Superman Static Shock and the Zeta Project, and also appeared in animated films, video games, and even DCUA animated movies.
Impressive wingspan.
When Batman the Animated Series was released, it was revolutionary.
We wanted the show to be appealing to kids because we knew that it was, they were our primary intended audience, but at the same time, we wanted to show that we ourselves would watch as adults.
See, this is why you get the longevity and why Kevin Conroy's Batman still resonates. I watched him as a kid, and the show is even more enjoyable as an adult. To shape Bruce Wayne, creator Bruce Timm and designer Eric Radomski drew inspiration from Frank Miller's Batman Year One and The Dark Knight Returns. Gone were those days of Adam West camp, and in came the brooding, tormented Batman using the dark noir streets of Gotham as his form of therapy to cope with his trauma. Some of the best Batman episodes ever written were the ones that dealt with Bruce battling his own demons, and we had never seen anything like this in a cartoon before. Perchance to Dream was an episode that dealt with Bruce's complexities. He's given a glimpse of a perfect reality, his parents alive, he's married to Selina, but he knows it's not his destiny, no matter how much he wishes it was so.
I won't live a lie, no matter how attractive you make it.
Nothing to Fear is when we see Batman encounter the Scarecrow's fear gas, and we get this staple.
I am vengeance. I am the Knight. I am Batman!
Robin's Reckoning gives us the backstory of Robin and Batman's relationship, and it delves into the fine line of justice versus revenge that both Dick and Bruce face when they're fighting crime. But Bruce's mission was always at the forefront of the series and continued into Batman Beyond, with Kevin voicing a senior Bruce.
He's not a feeble 80 years old. He's still Bruce Wayne. He's passionate, he's powerful. His body just won't do what he wants it to do.
Same man, different body, zero Robin but new Ward. Terry McGinnis is brought in to wear the new and improved Batsuit.
So wouldn't that make him Batman in the show?
Tell that to my subconscious.
Worlds collide when Kevin's Batman joins up with the other heroes in the Justice League and Justice League Unlimited animated series. Here, among all the supers and gods, Batman still remains supreme, and it's awesome.
Next time I let Superman take charge, just hit me real hard.
Here we get to see Kevin's Batman interact with superpowered beings that could level him at any moment, and he doesn't flinch.
I'm taking the shuttle, unless you want to try and stop me. No.
He may be human, but he's still the smartest, most intimidating guy on the roster.
That's not helping.
Who also keeps it real with the God among men.
Cry me a river.
With a little insurance. Kevin's Batman also gets to have some fun, sarcastic dialogue in this series that he hadn't been able to do before.
Wish I'd thought of that. Oh wait, I did.
His communication with this team is laced with quick-witted authority.
I could use some air support, since I can't fly. At all. Now would be good.
Batman even sings like a top-notch jazz singer in this series.
Am I blue?
God, he's great. This is actually my favorite version of the character when you get to see him interact with all the other heroes. His moments going toe-to-toe with Amanda Waller are also really amusing to watch. The most powerful, complex woman in Washington versus the most powerful, complex hero in the league, tactfully trying to outsmart each other and in the end becoming friends. Yet, Batman is always the most interesting and relatable when he goes toe-to-toe with himself. And we get more of that in the Justice League. There's a scene in season 2 where Batman debates with another Dimension Batman. E1 Bruce can't understand why any version of him would choose a dictatorship over democracy.
The problem with democracy is it doesn't keep you very safe. It has other virtues, but you seem to have forgotten them.
Until E2 trumps any argument he has with this.
We've made a world where no 8-year-old boy will ever lose his parents because of some punk with a gun.
It's just brilliant acting from Kevin playing both parts. There's also a fun interaction when Bruce meets old Bruce from Batman Beyond, but there's no debating there. Well, unless you count the back and forth on just how to integrate someone. Kevin's Batman became so popular that they hired him for the Rocksteady-produced Arkham series games.
Working with Mark Hamill and Kevin Conroy is fantastic for us. Like most people, you know, when you read the comics, these are the voices you hear of Batman and Joker.
If you haven't played them, it's basically a 15+ hour mature version of the animated series.
No way!
There was one game that he didn't voice the character in, and it was weird the entire time. Poor Roger Craig Smith. I just didn't want to take any hints from him.
But here's something the police overlooked. Roman Sionis owns the Gotham Merchants Bank.
Shut up, not Kevin Conroy. But honestly, what also makes Kevin Conroy the best is his interaction with the fans.
People come up to me all the time and just want to grab me and hug me because they know me. I've shared my deepest emotional life with them.
Kevin is the fan favorite and the staple of what makes Batman Batman. He is the first person to use two distinct voices to portray Bruce Wayne and Batman, which was Conroy's idea. This has become the go-to technique for most of the actors since Conroy came along, even though it's not always as well received like in Dark Knight.
I don't know where he is. He found us.
He must have friends.
What was that sound department? To be fair, there's also one scene in Justice League Maid of Honor where Conroy himself does his Bat voice as Bruce Wayne.
If that's all Savage is up to, we're lucky.
And I know he's talking to Wonder Woman, but it's just weird to me. Anyone else with me on this? It was weird. Kevin also truly stands by one of the most hotly debated aspects of the character, and that's that Batman doesn't kill. It's just more interesting and complex if he doesn't. It's the one aspect that separates him from his rogues gallery.
I personally don't think Batman kills, and I love that about him. I love that about the show.
Conroy's opinion matters to fans. They seek him out to ask about other actors' performances, and they wait hours in line at the multiple cons he attends to shake his hand. And he campaigns that Batman really is better than Superman.
Batman is complicated, he's got problems, and he overcomes them all. And Superman is, square-jawed, farm-fed. He's just so boring.
Which isn't true, but come at me, bro. Let me know in the comments. I really said it. Throw it at me on Twitter. I want to tell you why Superman's better than Batman. Look, I love debates. I'll win, but you can try. What made me fall in love with Kevin even more was reading his story in DC Pride, Finding Batman. That I've mentioned this already, right?
Yes.
This comic is so great. It perfectly parallels Kevin and Bruce's struggle and grief, a mask of confidence to the world, and a private one racked with conflict and wounds. Kevin has been the first of many in the world of the Dark Knight, and in this comic, he fully embraces the title of the first openly gay actor to portray Batman. I highly recommend you check it out. It brought me to tears. It is just beautifully written.
Okay, I'll check it out.
For over 30 years, Kevin has brought brought complexities to the iconic character that cannot be surpassed. His Bruce is tormented, brooding, vulnerable, stubborn, funny, sarcastic, and just an all-around badass. Kevin Conroy really is. But those are just my thoughts. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below, or you can @ me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For Screen Crush, I'm Ryan Airy.